What's happening, everybody? Time for another session of Malt Reviews. That's Mikey as usual, and I'm Narby. This review is long overdue. It's the Glengoyne 25-year-old. Comes in a nice, beautiful wooden box. You know, kind of the wooden box goes in here. Open it up. The way the bottle comes out is pretty unique. Take this guy out right here. Sorry. And then the bottle slides out like so. Calls for a nice presentation. So anyways, just wanted to show that their 25-year-old product, they stepped up the packaging on it. And that could be nice if you have a bar to display in or something like that. It's not something that we necessarily chase because it usually means you have to pay extra for the product. But for this particular product, I don't feel like they're really charging a 25-year-old high-end product, and it's around $300. If you shop around, you can find it for around $300. It might be a little bit more at some places. And the Glengoyne 25-year-old is bottled at 48% ABV. And it's all unpeated sherry casks. Wood used from Spain. And the reason why this video is long overdue is because you guys ask us all the time, what whiskey would you recommend at this price? I'm gonna want to spend $200, I want to spend $300, and this is probably one of the ones where we've recommended the most, especially when people want to maybe spend $400 on something, $500 on something, $200 on something, where I'll maybe tell them, hey, bump it up another 100 and go for this, or don't bother spending $400 on that, go to this. You know, the reason for that is it's really high quality sherry aged Scotch whiskey, and it also comes in a nice presentation, which, you know, is not the reason why I would recommend it, but it's also nice to have. And it's just a beautiful bottle and very good quality. So we haven't done a review, so we do need to do the review for this. So without further ado, the color on this is very rich. It's all 100% natural coloring.
Oh yeah.
And it's got like a nice brownish color here. Rich, dark wooden mahogany color. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Love knowing that it's natural colorant here.
Oh yeah. Beautiful casks.
So without further ado, the nose. This has been breathing for about 15 minutes.
Love the extra 4 to 6%.
Absolutely. You can tell right away that richness now.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Sitting in these sherried casks from Spain. It's giving off a lot of cask influence, but one of the most predominant flavors here is a very dominant, high quality dark chocolate. It's very chocolate bar.
Oh, yeah.
You know, line up chocolate bars from all the way up to here and just squeeze them together and just form it into liquid form. Just really, you know, high quality. Think of a time where you spend some extra money on a high quality piece of chocolate. It's at about 70% cocoa, 75% cocoa, very rich and dark, almost a little bitter, so not too sweet.
Exactly, that's the key. More on the bitter side, not overly sweet. So the essence of cocoa. But yeah, this is a sherry monster. It's everything you want, everything you love about sherried whiskeys. And I am getting almost, not quite, but almost more than 25 years. I'm getting a lot of nice aged elements as well. So I'm getting the typical sherry stuff, beautiful chocolate, beautiful nuts, dates, dried figs, fruit, but I'm getting some nice leather elements, some nice old books, old furniture, and a little bit of dust.
This is getting some rum raisins, some cinnamon spiced walnuts, like holiday spiced walnuts.
Oh yeah.
So you're getting that sweetness from the raisins and that demerara sugariness. So it's very brown sugar.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Rum soaked raisins. You're getting that dry bitterness from that rich dark chocolate.
Oh yeah.
Getting those aged elements like Mike said. With that leather and almost like walking into like an old library. It's kind of like, it's almost like a bookstore that hasn't been open in years. That's what he means by like that dusty smell, those dusty old books, that furniture that you get usually when you get a scotch that's approaching around 30 years old.
Or 40 or 50 years old.
Yeah.
It's a monster. Yeah, and I'm actually getting, just took a whiff, not just the old stuff, but it's really cool, really unique. I'm also getting like fresh, brand new leather, like horse saddle. Like if you ever spend time around horses or walk into one of those saddle shops where they make brand new leather products, it's like fresh, beautiful leather, the essence of leather. I'm actually getting both, which is amazing, which is unique.
I'm getting some, it's weird, it's almost like minty, like a cherry mint, like cherry flavored cough drops. Some orange liqueur. And again, that dark chocolate keeps coming up. The figs and dates are there as to be expected.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's spicy, it's peppery, black pepper, cinnamon, clove.
Even getting a little bit of light coffee, light
Absolutely.
espresso. Wow.
Not even light for me. That's just there. Yeah, I don't. You know, I agree with you. Just besides the light part, it's just very, very much there. It's the beautiful bitter. It's the beautiful bitter
That's awesome.
stuff that you like the espresso, like the dark chocolate. It's peppery. It's spicy. It's cinnamony. Yet it has the rum soaked raisins and dates in there as well.
It's got everything.
So it makes it complex. It tastes old. It's got the leather. And it's not typical. It's not your typical what you would expect a typical sherry whiskey to be. You obviously know it's a sherried whiskey, but it's different. It's got some other qualities to it. It's a pleasure. The 48%, I believe, really adds to this. I'm really glad it's not bottled at 40 or 43%.
Yeah, because like if you compare it to like say Macallan 25 bottled at 43%, it's more powerful.
Yeah. All right, you guys
Wonderful.
don't want to make the review too long. Let's hit the palate. It's oak rich. It's extremely chocolatey on the palate. It's leathery. Cinnamon, pepper, along with that oak spice with the pepper. Dried raisins. Dried figs. That 70% dark chocolate on the nose is now like 85% on the palate.
Yeah.
It's bitter in the nicest way. That coffee comes into play. It's really nice. It's a beautiful, not sweet sherry, and the fruits that you get are not sweet. It's all beautiful in the fruit way, in the chocolate way, but none of it is too sweet, not even close to sweet.
Yeah, remember we've done some of the younger single cask Glendrones where it's heavily sherried but just too sweet, especially the Pedro Jimenez. And this is like the opposite of that. This is perfect. It's like the perfect amount of bitter espresso or bitter coffee chocolate, but then you have like the most perfect amount, for me at least, most perfect drying amount, most perfect drying elements. And then still though, all those nice dried fruits of a nice sherried whiskey in the background.
Yeah,
I really like what they've done.
For those of you who want like a blast of dessert, and you can have this absolutely as a dessert, even though it's not overly sweet. But I don't want to throw anybody off because we keep using the word bitter, and bitter is usually not a pleasant term, but we mean it in a good way, as in like it doesn't have any unnecessary sweetness. Sometimes when a whiskey's too sweet, and those of you experienced drinkers will know what we're talking about, you can only have so much of it, 1 or 2 sips, and then it's just like a sugar party. Like, that's not what it's not what I spend $300 for. So don't want to throw you off with the word bitter. It's in a good way in this case, just like it would be for someone who enjoys a shot of espresso by itself. It's not sweet. It's very tasty, but it's bitter, and the dark chocolate is bitter. So you guys get what we're saying, I hope. But the finish is nice and long. It lingers mainly on those leather and dark chocolate and oak spice elements.
Yeah, that's the main thing. It's not like that just pure like treacle. Like you always say treacle or like pure syrupy sweetness. I just smelled it again, and not just what we said, but it's like now it's adding more exotic spices. Like I'm getting ginger, I'm getting cardamom, and even like spices that go in like a curry. Like it's starting to span the entire spectrum. It's just, especially for what you think of a heavily sherried whiskey, it's very unique. It's very complex.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, for those of you who are willing to spend around the $300 mark on a whiskey bottle, there are occasional random independent bottlings out there that I like better. That might be one of 200 bottles, one of 250 bottles, one of 150 bottles. There are those random gems that we do bump into that I would say those are better for the money than even this. But something that's widely available and is I shouldn't say widely available, but available. You should be able to find it, and if not at a local store, then online for sure. For around $300, this is a solid option, and it comes highly recommended. For me, this is a very strong 91 out of 100.
I give it 92 out of 100.
All right, so there you go.
Good.
So
Very good.
Absolutely great whiskey.
Oh,
And we'll see you guys soon for another malt review. Cheers.